When you log into your course, you should see this page. If you know you read this announcement, obviously you've been to the start here if you're watching these videos, so that's good. This is your course home. Okay, now if you aren't seeing these tabs down here to the left where I'm scrolling with my little pointer, your menu may be closed off. So this is the way to get the full picture screen. If you're not seeing your menu, click on the menu so you can see all these tabs. Now your course home has a lot of information. It has your calendar. As you can see, I'm making this on Saturday the 9th, but it'll go weekly. And it kind of gives you due dates when things are due. Okay, but right below it, it's got what to work on next. Now, just because the pretest is due February 19th, that is the last day that you can take it without being dropped from the course. But that doesn't mean you wait till then, because you're going to kind of be behind. So that's just the absolute last day that a student can take it before you get dropped from the course. So just, be conscious of what's due. Pace yourself, structure yourself, do all those things. Try to figure out, if I've got stuff due every 2.5 weeks, that means I do 2 sections a week or 3 sections a week or whatever it is, to not wait till the last minute and put all that pressure on yourself. Below this is welcome to my math lab, a browser check, and I'll talk about that when I go over the syllabus. Internet Explorer does not work well with my math lab. So, Chrome does good, Safari and Mozilla, but for whatever reason, Internet Explorer does not work well. But you can always run your browser check to make sure everything's good and download whatever you may need. There's also a how to enter answers tutorial. It's very good. I mean, it's just going to give you some hints. How to put fractions, maybe when to use commas, when to not use commas, how to access certain functions. It's worth the time. It's worth the time. Okay. Here's a link for Pearson Tutor Services. We have tutoring at most of our campuses at KCTCS, but they may provide something different than what we offer. Over here is your grading and submission progress. So since I've not done anything and you've not done anything, it's going to be 0 right now. Okay, so this is the page you will enter into every time you click on this course, unless I change something. But at this point, it won't. Now, let's just kind of go on down here. You've obviously looked at the start here, so you're good. My instructor information. There are my office hours, email, phone. Email is my preferred method of contact. I am really good at communicating. I appreciate a 24 to 48 hour response time to get back to you. Most of the time, it's easily within 24 hours, but on the weekends, it may take me 2 days. So if you are panicking, don't worry, we'll work things out. So just don't worry too much, unless of course you waited till the last day to do 6 assignments. Okay, that's a different ball game. So give me the 24 hours, I'll get back to you. My office is at Leestown. That's the campus out by the VA hospital. And I'm in the manufacturing building 107. Feel free, if you need tutoring, to drop by any of those times. If you need other times, we can see if we can work something out, or we'll do it over email. Here's the syllabus. Now, this kind of looks funky. I don't know why it's doing this. So I just clicked open this content in a new tab, and there you go. I would print this. It's got links. It's got information about me, my division chair, things like that. The required technology. Here's the information about your websites, your browsers. The calculator you're allowed to use. The book is optional because we do have an ebook. Attendance, you need to log in every week, at least once per week, to count for regular attendance. There's the information about the pretest. My email policy again, class structure, read through that. Do not procrastinate. Well, then we have stuff about your grade. I mean, and that is what's very important to most of you. You know, you got graded homework. I'll show you where that is. We've got quizzes, 4 of them. You can take them up to 3 times to improve your score. There are 2 exams, the midterm and the final. They are comprehensive. I've renamed this not take a test. It is now midterm and final exam location, just to make things a little bit clearer, because I've really never done a midterm exam in this class, but I kind of have to do that. So I had to change a few things up. So it will be, and I'll show you that when we get back into the class. I review all exams to assign full or partial credit where appropriate, and those exams must be proctored. And here's the information about the passing average on the midterm and final. Now, if you do poorly on the midterm, we'll talk about things, and there are ways to improve that score. So don't panic. It's just kind of oftentimes the midterm helps prepare you for the final. All right, late work. You can work homework past the due dates without getting it reopened, but it may be subject to a 10% penalty. If you miss a due date for an exam, I do allow 1 extension, but the final I do not. So, that's something that we got to deal with. Okay, so if you miss a due date for the midterm and you can get a proctor, that's fine. But for the final, there is no extension because school's out, when the final's done. Here's your breakdown for your grade. Your homework's 20%, your quizzes are 25, midterms 25, finals 30. So the finals weighted a little heavier, but again, you have to have the passing average. There's a withdrawal policy there. There's a link if you need to access that. If you do have an accommodation that you need to get approval for that. So there's a link for that office. And there's also a link for more BCTC college policies and resources. Now, this course outline gives you your due dates. I have another folder with a due dates document in there, but this is the same thing. So you can print this one or print that one, but just keep in mind these due dates. And there's other ways that I'll show you how to know what your due dates are. If you don't know when things are due, you're not paying attention, truthfully. And again, here's the information about the final exam and midterm. Okay, so that's your syllabus. I have video lectures. I don't name these anything. I guess you could say, I don't know if it's lazy or just didn't feel the need, but these are your video lectures that go along with down here the graded homework, as you'll see. Here's all your assignments right in order. You can find anything by going to the graded homework page and click on all assignments. If you just wanted your homework, then click on the homework. But I like to just do all assignments. That way it kind of takes you right in order of what you need to be doing. Okay. And you'll see, the first 3 chapters is the midterm. And we got a review for the midterm and the exam. Now, you have to take the pretest before these other assignments open up. So just make sure you get that pretest done ASAP. Okay. So these lectures go with the homework. Now, they're there for your help. If you don't think you need them, don't worry about it, okay? But if you do get stuck, hopefully they'll help you. If they don't, try something else. Now, there may be a mention of homework or things like that, but these videos were created for my on-campus classes, so ignore any mention of homework, due dates, anything like that, okay? It's just what I mentioned for my on-campus classes. So here is the link for the due dates, that last page on your syllabus. It's the same thing. If you want to print this off, that way you kind of know where things are, I would suggest doing it. So that takes you through everything all the way to the final. The graded homework kind of showed you where that was already. One thing I will show you, Now I can bypass it because I'm the instructor. So here's like a homework for 1.1. Now one thing we do have in the homework, um, first of all, is where to put the answer. Okay, so you go in those boxes and you see down here you've got fractions, square roots, absolute value, ordered pairs, and there's plenty of other symbols and items you can use here. All your stuff down at the bottom. When it's asked for the solution set, just give the number or numbers. Do not give x equals or y equals or t equals. It's going to count it wrong. So that's one thing that I do see happen occasionally to students. They miss 4, 5, 6 questions on a test and they got all the answers right. They just typed in the wrong format. Okay. Now, if you have question while you're doing your homework, you've got help for you. You got to help me solve this, view an example of how to solve it, which takes you step by step by step. Okay, you've also got, it'll take you to the textbook, the section in the book this comes from. You can ask my instructor, and that will come to me. Just kind of tell me what you're having trouble with, or you can print it if you want to take it to a tutor. Okay, so don't forget about your question help. All right. So that's about the homework. Now there's extra practice here. These are optional. You can just do them from the book on paper and pencil, or you can go to the study plan, and I'll show you where that is, and just look them up and work them on the computer like you've been doing everything else. But these are optional, extra practice, not graded, not required. All right, so here is the information about the proctored exam. I explain about the proctored exam, which exams are proctored, how do you schedule it. So we have links. I haven't checked these yet, but they should work. Yes, they do. To the BCTC Testing Center. If you're not a BCTC student, there's a link for all the other KCTCS testing centers. Or if you have a webcam and about 20 to 30 bucks, I'm sure with things are changing, you can go to ProctorU and you can take the exam at home. I do allow that. So it log in, help center, you got your full menu, whatever you're looking for, schedule or take an exam. Just keep in mind, I'm BCTC and Biega. Look for them under my name. Don't look for your local campus unless you're BCTC, but you have to look for where I have it located. So that's an option, and I'll refresh your memory as we move on. And so read through this stuff. Okay, read through this stuff so you're fully aware of what you need. Now, here's where, instead of take a test, I just clicked midterm and final exam location. It's also where your quizzes are, but you can get there from your graded homework section. But there's your midterm, there's your final. Both of these have a review, and they are both the reviews. You can work them as many times as you'd like. So, no problem there. No problem there. Working them as much as you want. That's the way you get better. All right. Your grade book, nothing in there yet, but you will have stuff eventually. See, I've started 1.1, and one thing you can do is you can rework your homework as much as you want. Now, when I click on review, it's taking me back to the homework, and anything I do here will not change my score. So I go okay, and then I'm just going to go back and just access the homework again like I did previously to be able to redo it again. Okay, so changes here will affect my score. All right, so there's a difference between reviewing it. You can review it, to see what you missed, but you want to make changes, you just go back and work it like normal. All right, study plan. This is where what I was talking about as to where you can, if you want to, work some of those extra practice problems. You don't have to. Again, it's optional. But I can go through the chapters that we're working on and just, it can give me all the helpful hints, things like that, or I can just go through and pick out the problems I want to work. Okay. Chapter contents. This is your ebook. So we start at chapter R. We do R6 down the road, but it goes, whatever section, and I can watch video lectures that the textbook creator has made. These are not mine, they're someone else's, and you may prefer them. You can go to the e-text, or you can work in your study plan. I wouldn't do work in your study plan from here. I would do what I told you about, do the extra practice problems, because they may assign you things that you're not responsible for. Okay, so those are things you can access to help you. Discussion board. What I've done for the discussion board. Okay, let me see if I can get there to the discussion board. Is I've provided helpful hints. So they're going to be a little similar, to my online video lectures, but they're more print. Okay, so you may find them helpful, you may not. My grading policy, I will update this. So here shortly. I always forget something, so I'll update that shortly. And here's another way where you can check out all the media available to you through the book. So if I wanted to look, if I was in section 1.1 and I wanted to see everything that's available to me, I can click on this section and find PowerPoint, videos, whatever I need. Tutoring information, we do have links. We have something called Brain Fuse. You can gain access through Blackboard, and that is online tutoring through KCTCS. So I will be setting that up as well here soon. And you can link to BCTC tutoring. And find out maybe, where you're wanting to look for, what campus, things like that through those links as well. Dropping the class, you can drop up to, on the syllabus, I have that policy as well. And I've got to change this date to, no I don't, May 2nd by 2 p.m. Okay, so there you go. Links for the tutor drops as well. And then here are the videos that the author creates and the author's guided lecture notes. These are not mine. So anyway, I think that's about it. Your course tools, you have email. You don't see any of these things that here because it's hidden to the students, but you do have email. And like I said, I will be sending you out emails as well. So, as you prepare for these midterm and final exam, my best advice to you is, when you go to do the review, either have made your cheat sheet up based on what you did maybe on your quizzes, things that you had trouble with, or as you're doing the midterm review, things that you have trouble with. So, you've got to be smart about how to create that cheat sheet. As you go through the midterm, don't use your notes, don't use your book, don't use anything except for that one page that you're allowed to take with you, and scrap paper and your calculator. And that's the best advice I can give you, because if you rely on too many outside influencers, too many help items, you can possibly get anxiety, because all of a sudden you don't have those available to you. So that's the best advice I always give my students, is to practice for the proctored exams in the same, I guess, setting or environment as you will for the actual exam. In other words, don't have too many things helping you. So at any rate, get busy, good luck, and I will be in contact soon.